wants to be a professional hockey player, has dreams of someday playing in the All-Star game, and just to play in the game is an honor, but to have the chance to score 4 goals was a big thrill for me, and I'll never forget.
It started early in period 3 as Gretzky began a relentless assault on Wales goaltender Pelle Lindbergh. With a little luck and a lot of craftsmanship, Gretzky poured it on. Even after he dribbled one under Lindbergh for a hat trick, there was more on the way. Finally, the blitzkrieg came to an end. For the Campbell Conference, a big 9-3 victory. For Wayne Gretzky, more space in the National Hockey League record book.
I watched the game and I watched Wayne score the 4 goals. He certainly turned a very complacent hockey game into something that was exciting and memorable for everyone who was there. And I feel that Wayne is the kind of guy that's capable of doing that again this year. I mean, you really never know what he's going to do. He could score 4 or 5, or he might score 1 or 2, but he's going to do something that's exciting. You can bet on that.
Tonight, the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Smythe and Norris divisions will get a chance to make it 2 straight as they meet the Wales Conference All-Stars from the Patrick and Adams division once again. The site is just 6 miles west of New York City, a marshland in the community of East Rutherford, New Jersey, in an area called the Meadowlands. Just off the New Jersey Turnpike at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, USA Sports presents exclusive coverage of the 36th NHL All-Star Game. Next. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is brought to you by Mobile Detergent Gasoline, power for your everyday driving needs. By Toyota's new cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. And by Levi's, jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style you can count on. NHL All-Star Games have provided many of those special sports moments, those blinks of time from the past that became the cherished stories of the present. 1934 in Toronto, the All-Stars against the Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs. A benefit game for Ace Bailey. A fractured skull ended his career. The special moment there, Eddie Shore shook his hand at center ice before that game. It was Eddie Shore's check that ended his career. 1957, the great Red Wings line of Gordie Howe, Ted Lindsay, and Alex Del Vecchio reunited. They were separated because of a trade. In 1959, all players autographed a stick for a church charity in Toronto. The winner of the charity, Pete Mahovlich. He would play 14 years in the National Hockey League. 1968, Brian Conacher became the first All-Star to wear a helmet after Bill Mesterton died from head injuries. In 1969, money, $500 to the winners, $250 to the losers. And that brings us to tonight, 1984. Let's meet the coaches for the Classic.
Coaching an All-Star team for me is certainly very exciting. You know, you get the chance to meet players from different teams and the great players all through the league and playing against the top players of the other conference. So I'm just certainly glad to be part of it.
I feel that this would probably be the only way that I'm ever going to get to an All-Star game, being an ex-player. I wasn't capable of playing to that degree, but being surrounded by this many superstars, and I think that all of the fellows that will be in the game will be superstars. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's certainly a night for nostalgia, and Dan Kelly, who will be calling his 11th NHL All-Star Game, knows all about it. He's upstairs with Gary Green. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Al Trudwig. It's always an honor to be associated with these great athletes in the All-Star Classic. Injuries have been a big topic of conversation for this All-Star Game. Trottier and Bossy out. Wayne Gretzky has a shoulder problem, and he's going to play, but for a while we weren't sure.
Well, it helped end his 51-game consecutive goal streak Saturday night, but he is going to play tonight. In watching tonight's hockey game, you can't expect to see any big body slams along the boards, no scuffles in the corners. There haven't been fighting majors in an all-star game since way back in 1953. But watch the game for its grace, its beauty, the skill of these players. They're the cream of the crop of the NHL.
And you don't get the tight checking that you do in a normal game, so you see the artistry of these players. Let's go back to Al Trudwick.
Over 19,000 here at the Burn Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That makes this the second largest all-style crowd in NHL history. Let's go outside and meet the players by joining the pregame ceremonies.
He was hit by the great Eddie Shore. And incidentally, I attended the first NHL All-Star game in Toronto in '48, and my best friend, my neighbor, who's in the Hall of Fame, and they said there's no hitting. Well, they got to be kidding. He broke his leg in the All-Star game. But he still did come back a few years later, and believe it or not, set a record in Madison Square Gardens, 3 goals in 21 seconds. That record may live forever.
Incredible. The lights are down low here at the Burn Meadowlands Arena, just to my left where I imagine the Campbell...
A few technical problems in the pregame introductions. As we might expect, let's go to Mike Emmerich, who is coming out on the ice now. We believe we have things sorted out to meet the players, 40 of them for the 36 All-Star game.
Let's go down to the ice in the starting introductions tonight with Mike Emmerich.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 36th Annual National Hockey League All-Star Game. My name is Mike Emmerich. It's my pleasure to introduce to you now the Campbell Conference All-Stars. From the Calgary Flames, appearing in his 4th All-Star game, at forward, number 9, Lenny McDonald.
One of the more prolific goal scorers in the game. Everybody knows him, though, for that fantastic mustache, number 9, with the Calgary Flames, Lenny McDonald.
Making his 2nd All-Star appearance, in goal, number 30, Murray Vanderman. From the Chicago Blackhawks, in his 3rd All-Star game, at forward, number 18, Dennis Savard.
We're having some technical problems with the introduction of the players, so we'll pick it up from here. There you see Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks, a member of the Campbell Conference All-Stars. Another member of the Chicago Blackhawks and one of the great defensemen in this game today, Doug Wilson. Representing the Detroit Red Wings and playing for the Campbell Conference All-Stars, left winger John Ogrodnik. Another player from the Detroit Red Wings playing in his 1st All-Star game, and the youngest player to ever play in an All-Star game, 18-year-old Steve Yzerman. What a future that young man has, Gary.
Has he ever, Dan? And he's excited about tonight's hockey game.
From the Los Angeles Kings.
From the Los Angeles Kings.
NHL All-Star game. At forward.
A player playing in his 1st NHL All-Star game. And I think it'll be the first of many for Bernie Nichols. Marcel Dion, the great Los Angeles center, unable to play. And Nichols, having a good year, is in the lineup representing the Kings. Another Los Angeles King player, Charlie Simmer. He'll wear jersey number 10. He's from Los Angeles. Plays on that great Triple Crown line with Marcel Dion.
From the Minnesota North Stars.
Representing the Minnesota North Stars.
At forward, number 23.
Number 23, the youngest captain in the National Hockey League for the Minnesota North Stars, Brian Bellows.
From the Minnesota North
Another member of the Minnesota North Stars. His 1st All-Star appearance. Number 6, defenseman Brad Maxwell.
From the St. Louis Blues.
Representing the St. Louis Blues and elected to the Campbell Conference All-Star 1st team.
Rob Ramage.
Defenseman Rob Ramage. He's had an outstanding year for St. Louis.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs.
At forward, number 20.
One of the forwards for the Campbell Conference team. High-scoring winger Rick Vaive.
From the Vancouver Canucks.
From the Vancouver Canucks. And playing in his first NHL All-Star game, one of the Campbell Conference forwards, Darcy Rhoda.
From the Winnipeg Jets.
Representing the Winnipeg Jets,
At defense, number
defenseman David Babbage. One of two Babbage brothers playing in the NHL. His brother Wayne with the St. Louis Blues, David, a defenseman with the Winnipeg Jets.
NHL All-Star Game. At forward, number 8, Glenn Anderson.
From the Edmonton Oilers, and they have quite a contingent. You say Glenn Anderson.
From the Edmonton Oilers.
Another of the Edmonton Oiler representative,
Number 7, Paul Coffey.
defenseman Paul Coffey. Well, if all defensemen could rush the puck like this guy, this would be something, wouldn't it?
What did ever? 29 goals last year, 96 points.
All-Star Game. In goal, number 30.
Also from Edmonton, one of the Campbell Conference goaltenders, Grant Fuhr.
From the Edmonton Oilers in his first All-Star
Another member of the Oilers playing in his first All-Star game, defenseman Kevin Lowe. And here's a guy that I think is one of the most underrated players in the league.
That he is, a very fine defensive defenseman.
From the Edmonton Oilers in his third NHL All-Star.
Another Edmonton player in his third All-Star game,
Messier.
winger Mark Messier.
And from the Edmonton Oilers in his fifth All-Star.
And from Edmonton in his fifth All-Star game, number 99, Mr. Gretzky. He had some choice comments earlier this year about the New Jersey Devils, and he gets a reaction of cheers and boos. If I know Wayne Gretzky, they'll all be cheering by the time the night's over.
For the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Minnesota North Stars.
The trainers for the Campbell Conference All-Stars,
Larry Ness.
Larry Ness from the Minnesota North Stars.
And from the Detroit Red Wings in his first All-Star game.
Another trainer from the Detroit Red Wings, Jim Pengelly.
And the coach of the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Edmonton Oilers.
The coach of the Campbell Conference, the general manager and coach of the Edmonton Oilers,
Sather.
Glenn Sather, his first All-Star game. And he slides over towards the Campbell bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Campbell Conference.
So there you see the Campbell Conference All-Stars. They have won only 2 of these 8 meetings against the Wales Conference, but they won big last year. And you saw it here on USA in the game where Gretzky dominated with a 4-goal third period. They will now introduce the Wales Conference All-Stars.
It is my pleasure to welcome everybody to the Hockey Palace of the world and home of New Jersey Devils hockey.
The Wales Conference will be introduced here.
Presenting the 1984 Prince of Wales Conference All-Stars. From the Boston Bruins.
First players out will be from the Boston Bruins.
Number 7, Ray Bork.
Defenseman Ray Bork.
From the Boston Bruins.
Also from the Boston Bruins,
Forward number 16, Rick Middleton.
winger Rick Middleton.
From the Boston Bruins, first
Another member of the Boston Bruins,
Mike O'Connell.
His first All-Star game, another of the underrated players, I think, Mike O'Connell. Native of Chicago, used to play with the Blackhawks and now with Boston.
From the Boston Bruins, his second All-Star game.
Another Boston Bruin player.
Barry Peterson.
Barry Peterson, center iceman.
From the Boston Bruins, playing his fourth All-Star game.
Still another member of the Boston Bruins. The goaltender, Pete Peters. So 5 Bruins make up the introduction for the Wales Conference. Now from the Buffalo Sabres, young defenseman Phil Housley from St. Paul, Minnesota. His first of, I think, many All-Star games, Gary Green.
Well, whether it's a defense or left wing or center, we get a treat with a talented young man like him.
Here's a guy that's been here before in the All-Star competition. Also from Buffalo, Gilbert Perreault. He's normally a center iceman. Tonight he'll play left wing.
From the Hartford Whalers, playing in his first All-Star game.
A member of the Hartford Whalers.
Number 14,
Mark Johnson. Of course, from Madison, Wisconsin, a member of that 1980 gold medal winning United States Olympic team. Another player playing in his first All-Star game tonight. From the Montreal Canadiens, the Swedish import, the first Swedish player the Montreal Canadiens have ever had, Mats Naslund.
From the New York Islanders.
From the New York Islanders, defenseman and the Wales Conference team captain, Dennis Potvin. From the New York Rangers. Pierre LaRouche from the Rangers. Used to be with Pittsburgh, Montreal, Hartford. Now with the Rangers, Pierre LaRouche. Another Ranger. One of the best cornermen in the game of hockey, Don Maloney. From the Philadelphia Flyers, his first All-Star game, the big forward Tim Kerr.
From the Philadelphia Flyers, playing in his third
Another Philadelphia Flyer, his third All-Star game, Brian Propp.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Number 28.
in his first All-Star game,
Bullard.
Mike Bullard.
From the Quebec Nordiques in his second All-Star game.
One of the talented members of the Quebec Nordiques.
Michel Goulet.
Number 15, Michel Goulet. What a year he's having.
Quebec Nordiques, his fourth All-Star game. Forward, Peter Stastny.
Another member of the Nordiques from Czechoslovakia, Peter Stastny.
And from the Washington Capitals, playing in his fourth All-Star.
From the Washington Capitals, his fourth All-Star game. The Norris Trophy winner a year ago as the best defenseman in the NHL, Rod Langway. Went to New Hampshire to be a linebacker in football, and he's come out as a great hockey player. Now from the New Jersey Devils, young defenseman Joe Cirella, his first All-Star game.
And from the New Jersey Devils, playing in his third All-Star.
Another member of the New Jersey Devils, Chico Resch. He was the last-minute replacement for the injured Al Jensen of the Washington Capitals. And he gets a great ovation here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now the training staff for the Wales Conference. Keith Parker from the New Jersey Devils, one of the trainers.
And ladies and gentlemen, with great
And Craig
pride, I
Smith,
present to you the coach of the Chris Wales
the other trainer for the Wales Conference.
champion New York Islanders,
And the coach, four-time Stanley Cup champion and defending Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders, one of the best in the business, Al Arbor. So there you have the Wales Conference team. You've met the Campbells, you've met the Wales. Let's again go to Al Trudwick.
Okay, Dan Kelly, even the trainers have tuxedos on. This format began in 1975. In Game 1, the Wales dominated 7-1. Sil Apps had 2. In 1976, the Wales won again 7-5. Dennis Vervegaard's 2 goals within 10 seconds, not enough. In 1977, Rick Martin was the difference in the third period. 4-2, a winner for the Wales again. The Wales won in 1978, the only overtime game ever played in NHL All-Star competition. In 1980, the Wales won again 6-3. Gordie Howe's 23rd and final All-Star appearance in front of the largest crowd ever at Joe Louis Arena. In 1981, Mike Liut was the star. The Campbells finally got one. They won 4-1. In 1982, Mike Bossy had 2 goals. He was the star, and it was a 4-2 Wales Conference winner. And last year, Wayne Gretzky's 4 goals provided the difference, 9-3. Overall, the Wales leads the series 6-2-0. There has never been a tie game. Out to the ice for the national anthems.
23 of these All-Star games.
You can imagine how Dennis Potvin and Wayne Gretzky are feeling right now. Potvin having played tonight. This will be his 8th All-Star game. Gretzky, his 5th.
Gordie Howe in the official face-off for this All-Star game. The 36th NHL All-Star Classic.
And what kind of puck are they using? An official All-Star game puck, that's for sure. Certainly glad that no one slipped during the introductions, as you might remember Bobby Orr did in 1973. We're all set for the 36th NHL All-Star game. Nostalgia comes to mind, a lot of great thoughts. It should be a great evening. I'm Al Trutwig. I'll be your host for the 36th All-Star game on USA Sports, and we'll get to it right after these messages coast to coast on USA Sports.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Michelle Slate relies on mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's
All-Star Conference and Dennis Potvin of the Wales Conference meet at center ice for the official All-Star face-off. And the man to drop the puck, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. He only played in 23 of these All-Star games.
You can imagine how Dennis Potvin and Wayne Gretzky are feeling right now. Potvin having played tonight. This will be his 8th All-Star game. Gretzky, his 5th.
Gordie Howe in the official face-off for this All-Star game. The 36th NHL All-Star Classic.
And what kind of puck are they using? An official All-Star game puck, that's for sure. Certainly glad that no one slipped during the introductions, as you might remember Bobby Orr did in 1973. We're all set for the 36th NHL All-Star game. Nostalgia comes to mind, a lot of great thoughts. It should be a great evening. I'm Al Trutwig. I'll be your host for the 36th All-Star game on USA Sports, and we'll get to it right after these messages coast to coast on USA Sports.
In the National Hockey League, both teams still on the ice taking a final warm-up lap, so to say. And Wayne Gretzky is being interviewed by someone. I think this is interview 9,412 of this weekend.
It's amazing. Wayne Gretzky's father does not know how he does it, but yet Wayne says once that puck drops and the game starts, he can block everything else totally out of his mind. All he thinks about is hockey and winning the game.
Who's going to win this game, Gary Green?
Well, Dan Kelly, you like asking me tough questions all year long. I would have to go with the Campbell's conference. Even though Wayne Gretzky may be hurting somewhat, I just think that they have got a slight offensive edge.
Of the Wales in the white uniforms. And Paul Coffey for the Campbell conference. Gives it to John Ogrodnik, now to Gretzky. Got it to center ice, broken up there, and Rick Middleton, number 16 for the Wales. Moving in. Checked in the play, Dennis Potvin for the Wales. Centers one, that's tipped away, and back comes Rick Vaive for the Campbell Conference with Gretzky, but back to poke it away was Ray Bourque. Here's Goulet giving it to Bourque. Shoots right on. Kicked to the corner by Vanderman. Loose puck is there. Peter Stosny cleared it to Middleton. Now centered to Goulet. That shot blocked, and it's Paul Coffey, number 7, for the Campbell Conference. Dumping it in. Rick Vive in on the boards to get it for the Campbell Centers. Coffey deflected it, but it bounced away. Back comes Barry Peterson. Drop pass back to Kerr. Shoots off the goal post. Kerr just hit the post. Now Coffey to Gretzky. Campbell's come back. And Gretzky had the puck knocked away by Barry Peterson. And here's young Phil Housley. Lost it in front of the goal. Glenn Anderson. A shot, and Peters slid out to stop Glenn Anderson from a close-in try. He intercepted a pass that almost gave the Campbell Conference an early lead.
Well, 2 good opportunities. Kerr had a good one for the Whales. And then right after that, then the Campbell's Conference come roaring down. Anderson.
That's Kerr again hitting the post.
Had a chance right after that, Dan.
There's a shot from the point by the Campbell Conference. Brad Maxwell let it go as blocked. Campbell Conference on the attack. Flipping it in was Dennis Savard, but the Whales come back, and Kerr feeds it over onto the far side. Now centered. Knocked away by Kevin Lowe. Campbell Conference come back. Rhoda to Savard. Dennis Savard, and Darcy Rhoda was in ahead of the play and offside. And then the Vancouver Canuck player, Darcy Rhoda, goes sliding into the goal post.
Well, we talked earlier about the young Phil Housley. We're taking a look at him right there. From St. Paul, Minnesota, came right out of high school and entered the National Hockey League.
In his second year, here's Rod Langway giving it to Housley, number 6. Housley flipping it ahead. Brian Propp deflects it in. Kevin Lowe back to get it now. Here's a centering pass. Comes to Langway at the point. Couldn't hold it in. And the play is whistled down on an offside. Ron Langway of the Washington Capitals, the Norris Trophy winner a year ago.
Surprisingly enough, Rod Langway was born in Taiwan. He attended the University of New Hampshire. He's played in 4 All-Star games, 2 now for Washington, and prior to that, 2 for Montreal.
No score. The Campbell Conference and the Whales. Here's a loose puck stolen by Naslund for the Whales. Trying to center one. Now Perreault tried to get it in front. Campbell's break it up, and here's Messier feeding one to center ice. Lanny McDonald shot right on. Rebound. Messier missed an open net. Messier got the rebound, made a deke, and then missed the open net. Number 5, Dennis Potvin for the Whales. Clearing one. And taken at center ice as the Whales attack. Play broken up as Matt Naslund carried in, and now circling is Steve Yzerman, number 19 for the Campbell Conference. Shooting it over onto the right wing side to McDonald, to David Babich. Got it to center, but intercepting it and controlling is Matt Naslund. He drops it back, and then it's cleared by Joe Sorella to the Campbell blue line. Here's Yzerman, youngest player ever in the All-Star game, ahead to Lanny McDonald. He drops it back, and the shot by Messier off the stick of Potvin and over the glass and into the crowd.
Lanny McDonald, formerly Toronto's first-round draft choice, now playing for the Calgary Flames. Here's the 1983 winner of the Bill Masterton Trophy for perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to the game of hockey.
The man with the famous mustache, Lanny McDonald. And perhaps the best wrist shot in the entire game of hockey. Here's Mike O'Connell for the Whales, getting it loose as the Whales come out of their own zone. Mark Johnson shot at the center. Campbell shoot it right back in. There's Peters out of the net. He clears it and cleared it right up over the glass and into the crowd.
I was wondering when Pete Peters was going to do that. He does it once a game anyway. There we take a look at the Minnesota North Stars. Brian Bellows, first overall draft pick.
19 years of age, and he's the captain of that Minnesota club at this point. There's a shot wide. Campbell's center it. Mike O'Connell knocked it away. And now the Whales try and move out. Don Maloney getting it to center ice. On the attack is Mark Johnson. He's checked, and it's cleared to center. O'Connell back to get it. Flipping it ahead Here is Mark Johnson dropping one back, but right onto Charlie Simmer's stick, and he gives it to Brian Bellows, number 23. Bellows couldn't get around the Wales defenseman Ray Bourque. Now to O'Connell, headmanning it at center ice. Here's LaRouche moving in. Gets it into the corner. Bellows is there for the Campbells. Now LaRouche centers to Maloney. Back to LaRouche. Shot. Tipped and shot just wide right through the goal crease by Mark Johnson. How that didn't go in, I don't know. Here's O'Connell, number 20 for the Wales. Flips it near the net. Grabbed there by Murray Bannerman, and he held on to it. And we get a stoppage in play, and for our local systems, we'll pause here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming to you on USA.
National Hockey League coverage on USA Sports continues this Sunday night when we bring you an Adams Division clash between the Quebec Nordiques, a very exciting team, and the Buffalo Sabres, Scotty Bowman's troops. It comes your way 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 on the West Coast. Special edition NHL on USA Sports Sunday. The Quebec Nordiques and the Buffalo Sabres at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, how Mark Johnson didn't put this in? Well, it hit the post. That's how come.
Usually when it hits the post, it bounces straight out, but that followed right along the goal line.
Here's Phil Housley for the Wales. The shot. Now Goulet shoots a wrist shot wide. Number 22, Rick Bye for the Campbells to Messier. Housley hustles back to break it up. Now it is Kevin Lowe in the center ice area. Lowe gets it again. Ahead to Gretzky. Number 99, Gretzky passing, but Jim Kerr intercepted that. And Kerr circles for the Wales. Drops it to Housley. Headmanning it up the middle, Peter Stosny. Got it to Kerr, broken up. Here comes Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky shoots. That went off Peters. He got a piece of it, and it went to the corner. Now Langway for the Wales. Flipping it up the middle. And on the attack is Housley. Bill Housley. Got it to the line, then it comes back up. Now Potvin to Peter Stosny. Back to Dennis Potvin, number 5 from the Islanders. Stepped around the defense. Now Kerr a shot. Lowe slid out to block that. And then it's cleared to center ice. This is Joe Cervella for the Wales. Long shot. Stick save by Bannerman. And taking over and controlling is Brad Maxwell. This pass to Kevin Lowe. Campbell Conference come to center ice. Here's Glenn Anderson of the Edmonton Oilers, shooting wide by a couple of feet. Now digging in on the boards. They center it back to the point. That shot by David Babbitt deflects wide. Now Rhoda trying to center one, and then as it comes near the goal, Peters just smothered it and held onto it, and we'll have a face-off in the Wales end of the rink.
Dan, we had mentioned earlier we weren't going to probably get a very rough game. We never have. Might be the ideal game. Wayne Gretzky will still show us a lot out there tonight, but he's got to be hurting somewhat. Mind you, he got a pretty fine shot from that left wing position.
Peters just appeared to get a face of it. Now, here's Barry Peterson of the Boston Bruins for the Wales to Rick Middleton, his teammate and line mate in Boston. Doug Wilson there to break it up for the Campbell Conference. Shooting it around on the board. Dennis Savard drops it back to Wilson. Now fired to Glenn Anderson. He shot it to center. That will go the length of the ice. And Peters played the puck, so there's no icing. Now Sorella giving it in front of the net to Dennis Potvin. He fires it to Brian Propp. Propp to Sorella. Wales Conference on the attack. Ahead to Rick Middleton. David Babbitt is there to break it up. Now Peterson centered. Propp was open, but banned on it. And it is Rhoda for the Campbell Conference. Flipping it ahead to Savard. Broken up and cleared out of the zone. Carried back in offside by Darcy Rhoda. No score in this game. We're at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream in Levi's jeans.
you see Al Arbor and the Wales conference bench. There's John Ogrodnik. He's out on left wing with Detroit teammate Steve Yzerman, and on the right side, Lanny McDonald of the Calgary Flames. Now the Wales controlling as Ray Bourque gives it to Mike O'Connell. Back to Bourque. Ahead of center ice, Gilbert Perreault, number 11. Dropping it back, comes to O'Connell. Passing it into Naslund. Slides it behind the net. Bannerman cleared to Lanny McDonald. And the Campbell conference come to center. Yzerman headed momentarily was checked. Now Mike Bullard, number 23. Trying to come in. Bullard with a good move. Never got the shot away, however. Now the loose puck is taken by Coffey. Paul Coffey got to center. Wales break it up. Back comes Naslund. Coffey recovered and was there to intercept, and here is Rob Ramage giving it to Coffey. Coffey into the center ice area. Here's Yzerman moving in. Peters with that goal stick. Poked it away from the rookie Steve Yzerman. Wales come back. It's Bourque. Over to Naslund. Coffey there to break it up. Naslund shoots anyway. Off a leg and wide, and Lanny McDonald tries to clear it. Now to John Ogrodnik, number 25. Campbell conference on the attack. Ogrodnik misses by a couple of feet. Puck bounces all the way back into the Campbell, into the ring. Going back is Brad Maxwell of the Minnesota North Stars. Maxwell check. Here's Maloney. Out in front, and LaRouche backhanded it wide. Now LaRouche to Langway, but cleared ahead by the Campbell conference to center ice. Here's Don Maloney dropping it to Rod Langway. Langway. Now the Wales got to the line. Charlie Simmer breaks it up. Here's Simmer moving in. His shot blocked. Now drop back. LaRouche tried to clear it low, held it in. His shot stopped, and Maxwell has it for the Campbell conference. Maxwell shooting it in, and the play is offside at the Wales blue line. No score in this game. 11 and a half minutes left in the first period.
Dan, we had mentioned earlier about it was the last time there was any fighting majors in 53. You realize in the 35 games that have been played up to this point in time, there has never been a misconduct. I think that speaks very well for the All-Star game. Players are here to show off their skills, their talent. No one wants to get injured in an All-Star game.
From the face-off, Sorella for the Wales gets it to center. Broken up there. Now here's Tim Kerr. Shoots! Quick wrist shot wide by a couple of feet. Simmer knocked it back to the net. The puck is centered, and diving out was Bannerman as Michel Goulet flipped it in front of the net, and Bannerman had to be very alert to cover up.
Take a look behind the bench, the Wales conference. You know, there's 14 players playing in tonight's hockey game that are playing their first ever All-Star game.
There's Murray Bannerman, the Chicago Blackhawk goaltender. This is his second All-Star appearance. Here's Sorella, one of the first-year men. Shoots, he scored! Joe Sorella of the New Jersey Devils, and the Wales Conference take the lead. Well, they'll love that here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena.
Well, do they ever. Take a look at this face-off situation, and then the puck comes right back to Sorella. He pauses. He catches that inside corner. Not much room there. Perhaps that hesitation in the initial shot was enough to throw Bannerman off.
So Sorella gives the Wales a 1-0 lead. Now Gretzky getting it ahead as Rick Vive gives it to David Babbitt. That shot wide of the net, and it bounces back to the center ice area. Messier gives it to Doug Wilson. At center ice now cleared to Vive. Rick Vive with Gretzky. The Gretzky drop pass to Messier. Broken up, and Potvin comes back for the Wales Conference. Now they work it into Tim Kerr. Drop to Dennis Potvin. He scores! Potvin! And it's 2-0 for the Wales. Both of the goals coming from defensemen. First Joe Sorella, now Dennis Potvin. What a wrist shot Dennis Potvin has right from an ideal position.
You see the drop pass from the top of the circle. Wow, did he pick that inside corner? Right inside the post. Takes a look. Just enough room over there between Bannerman and the post.
Tim Kerr made an excellent drop pass. Michel Goulet also gets an assist. It's 2-0 Wales. Here's Mike O'Connell moving it in onto the left side to Brian Propp. That shot off Bannerman's glove. And now the Campbell Conference control with Coffey beating Glenn Anderson, number 8. Ahead for Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda poke checked on the play. Coffey holding it in at the point. But now Barry Peterson works it to center ice to Propp. Here is Peterson dropping it back, but Rob Ramage is there for the Campbell Conference to intercept and flip it down to the Wales end of the rink. This is Mike O'Connell. Cleared it on the boards. Now Bork has it for the Wales. Played it around on right wing to Middleton. Middleton couldn't get it out of the zone, but as he fell, dropped it to Bork. Raymond Bork, long shot. Saved by Bannerman as he kicked out his right leg. Here's Rob Ramage. Moving it ahead with a hand pass to Coffey, and that stops play. For our local systems, we'll pause here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on USA.
Coming up right after our game tonight, it's College Basketball 84. It'll be the Mississippi Rebels taking on the Auburn Tigers. The Southeastern Conference is where they play, one of the most competitive conferences in all of college basketball. Auburn has their sights on the top, and of course they'll be battling the Kentucky Wildcats. And so this game should be an important one for them. The Auburn Tigers and the Mississippi Rebels on College Basketball 84 tonight.
Dennis Potvin, who scored that last goal for the Wales Conference to make it 2-0. Potvin and Sorella scoring. 2 goals in 39 seconds. Now the Wales center it again, but it's tipped and comes to center, and this is Rod Langway, number 4. Langway to Housley, back to Langway. Langway has a look and flips it to center ice. Here's the chance for Naslund to Housley. Housley centering one. Now Bullard got it in front. Here's a drop pass back and a sliding save by Bannerman. He didn't know where it was. Lanny McDonald had to come to his rescue. And then Brad Maxwell shoots at the center. Campbell on the attack. Centering pass. Shot by Eiserman that Peters had difficulty with, and the Wales come back. Perreault couldn't get through the defense. Bannerman clears it aside. Bullard over to get it. Here's Perreault in to help out. Perreault just holding it along the boards, and referee Bruce Hood whistles the play down. Bruce Hood, who earlier this year became the first NHL referee ever to referee 1,000 NHL games. By the way, those 2 goals in this game in 39 seconds. Sorella from Stosny at 8:51. Then Potvin from Kerr Goulet at 9:30. Potvin's goal is 5th in All-Star competition. And Sorella's his first. And this is first game. Here is Bellows moving in, but Charlie Simmer was ahead of the play and offside at the Wales Conference blue line. We have the referee Bruce Hood microphone tonight. Let's see if we can listen in on what Bruce Hood has to say as he officiates. I guess he had nothing to say. Here's Bellows giving it to Simmer. Campbell Conference on the attack. Puck centered, gets in front. There's a jam at it off the goalpost by Bernie Nichols. That puck went in behind Peters but hit the post. The NHL is coming to you coast to coast on USA.
Here comes the most advanced piece of machinery in shaving history. The new Norelco Rotatract, the razor that challenges the world. Every blade, every electric, every shaving instrument ever made. In closeness, comfort, speed, and quality. It's the shaving machine you've been waiting for, or your money back. Advanced technology Rotatract razors. The first to challenge the world. New from Norelco.
Play just underway. This is Charlie Simmer giving it to Doug Wilson. Campbell Conference on the attack. Shoot it in. Potvin cleared it out, and then it was shot back in by the defenseman David Babbage, and that causes an offside at the Wales blue line. David Babbage of the Winnipeg Jets.
What a big, strong hockey player this guy is. 6'2", 205 pounds. He had 74 points last year, third best of the NHL defenseman.
Face-off will be at the Wales blue line. 7 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first period. Joe Cirella and Dennis Potvin have scored. The Wales lead 2-0. Now, on the attack, the Wales Conference with Peter Stastny, but the play goes offside. This forward line is Peter Stastny of Quebec, his Nordique teammate Michel Goulet on one wing, and Big Tim Kerr of Philadelphia on the other side. But there's the Campbell Conference's Mark Messier.
He set an NHL All-Star record last year, 3 assists in 1 period.
O'Connell giving it to Bourque as the Whales fire it in. Jim Kerr is there to center. Messier intercepting that. Number 11, Mark Messier. Pass ahead to Rick Bye.
Get a stick on him, guys.
Bye into the corner. He's on a line with Messier and Gretzky. And then as the puck fell down, or the players fell down on top of the puck, and you see Chico Resch of the New Jersey Devils. He'll play later in this game.
This is Chico's 3rd All-Star game.
Here's Wayne Gretzky for the Campbell Conference trying to center one. Now Gretzky gets it in front, centered, and Coffey just missed tipping it in. Now Mike O'Connell for the Whales. Here is a lead pass for Michel Goulet, unable to center it. And Paul Coffey cleared it, not up. Rob Ramage gets it to Rick Bye. At center to Gretzky, in with Messier. Gretzky looks to Messier, but the pass was tipped and broken up. Now Tim Kerr right back for the Whales. 3-on-2 break. Kerr giving it to Stastny. Peter Stastny shooting one. Rob Ramage knocked that away. And the Campbell Conference come back with Messier. At center to Rick Bye. Across the line, Housley broke it up. Now it is Kerr, number 17. Jim Kerr dropping it. Peterson shot right on. Vanderman the save there. Here's a 2-on-1 Campbell break. Rhoda with Gretzky. Darcy Rhoda shooting, and Peters a save on the short side. Now Housley fires it off the boards down the ice. Brad Maxwell goes back for the Campbell Conference. Over to Kevin Lowe. Back to Maxwell. Now Glow, number 4, to Brad Maxwell. Shot into the center ice area to Savard, but Middleton checks in. Glenn Anderson gets it to Savard. Broken up by Housley. Barry Peterson shot at the center, and Kevin Lowe tried to clear it back in. Now Housley to Barry Peterson. Peterson stick handling beautifully to Middleton. He scores! Middleton! And it's 3-0 for the Whales. Middleton shot it. Housley was there. He may have deflected it, but I don't think so, and I think it will be Middleton's goal.
Well, once again, coming from the slot area. Watch it closely. You can see that pass coming back from Peterson, first of all.
Right. I'm not sure if Housley deflected it or not, Gary.
He just may. He was right on the left wing corner. We'll have to wait for the official score.
3-0, the Wales Conference leading.
The Wales Conference goal scored by number 16, Rick Middleton.
Rick Middleton does get the goal. So Housley apparently didn't deflect it. Here's Dennis Savard centering one. Broken up by Langway, and now Housley fires it out on the wing, and here is Peterson on a line with Kropp and Middleton. Across the line, but Kevin Lowe intercepts. Lowe ahead to Rhoda, broken up by Cirella. Dennis Potvin shot at the center. This is Lowe for the Campbell Conference. Flipped it in, but right onto Dennis Potvin's stick. Potvin ahead on the left wing side now as the Whales on the attack, led by Gilbert Perreault. Drop pass back. Shot is up high by Potvin. Into the corner, Perreault gets it to his line mate. Bullard, but Bullard couldn't center it. Doug Wilson back for the Campbell Conference. Peters steered that long shot away. Campbell Conference with Yzerman. Got it behind the net, and Bullard then lost it. Here's young Yzerman. Getting it to John Odrodnik. Back to the point to Wilson. Shooting right on. Big save by Pete Peters. And Sorella clears it to Naslund. Here's a 2-on-1 break, and the lead pass to Mike Bullard. Shot it high off the glass as Perreault sent him in. This is Potvin. Into Perreault. Center to Naslund. Wilson, the defenseman, and Bannerman, the goaltender, both came sliding up. Now Naslund centered, but Doug Wilson intercepts. Here's Lanny McDonald trying to clear it in. Back from the Wales, Matt Naslund, number 25. He scored! Matt Naslund. The Wales Conference exploding here in the first period.
That line of Perreault, Bullard, and Naslund, wow, have they ever been flying out there tonight? Naslund and Bullard especially working well together. Let's take another look at it from a high camera angle here.
4-0. There you see Matt Naslund of the Montreal Canadiens, who had just scored. Here the Wales. Pierre LaRouche on the attack was checked. Now Simmer coming back for the pass to or dropping it over to Bernie Nichols. That's broken up. Here is Pierre LaRouche for the Wales. Coffey checked him. Number 7, Paul Coffey. Clears to the front of the net. Drop back to Ramage. Ramage on the board. Can't clear it. Loose puck in front. They score again! Pierre LaRouche. Well, you make a mistake in this kind of a game with all that talent, and it usually winds up in the net. The Campbell defense made a mistake there, and LaRouche tipped it in. Mark Johnson set him up.
You didn't hear me say that the Campbell's Conference may have the slight edge tonight
offensively. I think I heard you say that.
Well, forget I said it, because watch this play here between Johnson and LaRouche. LaRouche right on the park on the corner of the net. LaRouche playing on the right wing position tonight, usually a center iceman. Bangs it in.
Don Maloney also gets an assist. It's 5-0 for the Wales. Here's Wayne Gretzky. Stick handling beautifully. Number 99, the great one. Drop pass to Vibe. The shot blocked by Langway. Vibe again. Shoots. Rebound. Poked at by Messier, but Pete Peters was able to smother it. For our local systems, we'll pause right here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming your way on USA.
Here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, that is where Dan Kelly and Gary Green get to watch the game. But where is East Rutherford, and why are we here, and how did they get to build this arena here? We'll tell you about that in the first intermission. We'll also be joined by the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, to talk about some current news, and we'll also take you back and show you some of the famous faces that have played this game and helped make hockey a household name. Now here in the game, 5-0 for the Wales Conference. It certainly is good that we don't watch this game to see who wins. We just watch the game to see these players strut their stuff.
5-0, the Wales Conference leading. Sorella, Potvin, Middleton, Naslund, and LaRouche have all scored. And now we're going to get the game's first penalty by Broussard. He has a microphone on. Let's listen. I don't know if he could hear him or not, but it's a hooking infraction, and it's against Phil Housley of the Wales Conference.
The Wales Conference penalty to number 6, Phil Housley. 2 minutes for hooking.
A hooking call against Housley.
Well, as we take a look at it, the Campbell's team will get an opportunity on the power play. Phil Housley gets a rest and a drink of water.
Those last 3 Wales goals, Middleton from Peterson and Housley at 14:49, Naslund from Maloney at 16:40, and then LaRouche from Johnson and Maloney at 17:14. Campbell Conference on the power play. Coffey holding it in. Gets it to Bellows, but that puck had come outside the blue line and was shot back in offside at the Wales Conference blue line. You look at Rick Vibe of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
When the Campbell's Conference have the power play out there right now, you can expect that Rick Vibe the power playing specialist for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
A 40-goal man for the Leafs this year. Here's a lead pass from O'Connell to Middleton that's off the mark. And Coffey is back to get it for the Campbell Conference. Headmanning it to Messier, number 11. Rick Middleton breaks it up. Messier gets it back. Flips it in. Peters behind the net. Clearing one himself, knocked down, and Peterson gives it to Middleton. Back to Barry Peterson. Peterson centers to Middleton through his skates. And Doug Wilson, number 24, for the Campbells. To Gretzky, who has a breakaway. Gretzky. Peters beats him with a leg save. Gretzky made not one but two great moves, and Peters stayed right with him.
It started way back in the Campbell's end zone. Beautiful pass by Doug Wilson.
Here's Gretzky again. Shoots one, save, rebound to Agrodnik. Now Gretzky drops it back to Lowe. Devin Lowe into the corner. Gretzky to Coffey. Shooting. Agrodnik a poke at it, and Peters stopped them both. We're in the final minute of the first period. And that man right there, Wayne Gretzky, who says he's not very good on breakaways, was beaten by Pete Peters.
Well, it was an excellent move. I think Wayne, if he knew now what he knew then, or vice versa, he would have put it up a little bit. But a big breakaway pass from Doug Wilson way back from the blue line. But watch, he goes to his backhand initially, then to his forehand. That shoulder may have been bothering him just a bit, Dan. He couldn't quite get that puck up and over Pete Peters' pad.
Campbell Conference still on a power play. 28 seconds left in Housley's penalty. Dennis Savard moving it to Agrodnik. Back to Savard. His shot went wide. Now hard-working John Agrodnik checked in the play. Held in by Lonnie McDonald. Over to Savard. Drops it back, and Tim Kerr, out killing the penalty off, intercepted. Here's McDonald. Moving it in on right wing as Maxwell centered. There's Agrodnik. He missed an open net. John Agrodnik had Peters down and missed the open net. Brad Maxwell back for the Campbell Conference to Agrodnik. And Rod Langway intercepts that and cleared it to center. Brad Maxwell ahead to McDonald. Lanny McDonald has the puck as the first period comes to an end. Shots on goal were even in the first period. 13 shots apiece. But the scoreboard tells a different story. Coming up in our intermission, you'll meet NHL President John Ziegler with Al Trudwig in our USA studio. The shots on goal, 13 apiece in the opening period, and the score after one period of play. The Wales Conference 5, the Campbell Conference nothing. Our intermission coming right up.
In the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, how your clothes feel has always been just as important as how they look. That's why Levi's Action Slacks have an easy care fabric that gives, plus a waistband that moves with you. It's a feeling of comfort that's capturing more men every day. Levi's Action Slacks. A real comfort from Levi's Menswear.
There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place.
Believe it or not, there's finally joy in Mudville. Introducing the 1984 Toyota Tercel.
There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face.
This front-wheel drive Tercel will get you where you're going with more room inside than any other subcompact. The new Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car.
And finally, there is joy in Mudville. Play ball!
Can I help?
Oh, no. Just relax.
Are you sure?
Everything's fine. Just finishing the sauce.
Even when you can't cook,
Ow!
you can still have a good meal at home with Swanson dinners.
Almost there.
In fact, short of your own cooking, nothing's more satisfying than dinner with the Swansons.
That was really good. Can I have a little more?
People who really care about the news now have a brand new network news program. It not only gives concise news reports, but also explores the news in depth for a full hour every weeknight. It presents important issues from many sides, so you can choose your own side. If you care about the news, we think you'll care about this program.
Here it comes. Good evening, I'm Robert McNeil.
And I'm Jim Lara.
Public Television introduces the McNeil-Lara News Hour. Watch it weeknights on PBS. Major funding is provided by AT&T.
The All-Star Zamboni operator, hard at work here at the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You're watching the 36th NHL All-Star Game on USA Sports. Last night at the NHL dinner for the All-Star Game, the president of the league, Mr. John Ziegler, was presented by the president of the Chicago Blackhawks, William Wirtz, with the Lester Patrick Trophy. He is one of two men who will be awarded this honor this year. It is for outstanding service to hockey in the United States in memory of a great man. It must have been a special award for you.
Very special for me. As I said last night, Al, I think I really accepted on behalf of the league, all the people that I worked with, and I felt very fortunate to have this position and be in there at the time when I think the whole league did some things and hopefully brought our game back to where we all wanted it.
Now, it was a special night as well, not only for you and Art Ross, who also received the Lester Patrick Award, but for the Boy Scouts of America, who were the recipient of $55,000 as a result of the proceeds from that dinner. How did the Boy Scouts become chosen?
It's a matter of working with the local club, in this case the New Jersey Devils and their ownership, and looking to their charities, the Gordie Howe.
23 appearances for Gordie Howe. My thanks to the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, for being with us. And as we mentioned Gordie Howe, we're going to take you back in time, show you some of the faces, some of the players, some of the special moments that have made the National Hockey League All-Star Game something special to hockey fans everywhere. New Jersey began life in the late 1700s, known as Boiling Springs, a tribute to a natural spring that ran through the center of town. When wealthy land baron and former U.S. Senator John Rutherford died in 1841, vast portions of his property were sold to a real estate company calling themselves the Rutherford Park Association, shortened later to Rutherford Park. A name misspelling by a local delegation seeking a post office for the town led to the present-day spelling of Rutherford. Following a 5-year dispute, a local newspaper succeeded in adopting the misspelled Rutherford, dropped the park off the name, and ended all the controversy. Once the railroad came in, the Rutherford area became a weekend retreat for the affluent New Yorkers. It was a place to get away from the big city and enjoy the best of life. Sports enthusiasm